Hey everybody, Jimmy Wild here from J76 Gaming, back with a Division 2 video. And today I want to go over the Recalibration Station, and in particular the Recalibration Library, and why it's so important. If you're new to the Division 2, or maybe you took a break like I did, either way, Recalibration has changed with the new expansion, and it's a really cool feature. So let's get started. Now, I have been out farming today, focus on targeted loot for Providence and for the gear sets. So let's see how I did. So I started the day with 4 items in my inventory, and now I'm up to 80, so I have a few pieces to sort through, and I won't bore you with all of that, but for the video today I will use some of those items to show you the basics of the recalibration station. So if you are in DC, head into the White House and make a left and look for Emma Richards at the recalibration station. We'll go ahead and pick recalibration station for a quick look before we get into the library, but we'll pick rifles because it's the first one on the list, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the USC 45 ACP. Now, if you go to the right, you can see quite a bit of information about the weapon, and you're probably used to seeing this. But for this video, we want to look at core attributes, and talents. So go ahead and go in there, and let's just start at the top. We'll look at rifle damage here. Now, 7% is nice, but I do have a replacement with 12%. So that sounds like something I'd like to change. Critical hit damage, I have 11%, or I could change it to 13. Once again, nice little upgrade. What it gets interesting is the attributes, where I have 14% optimal range. Now maybe I'm using this offhand and I don't need it to go that far, and maybe I don't want optimal range, so I could replace it with any of these other options here. Maybe critical hit chance or damage to armor is more important than the range. Or maybe I don't like the talent and I want to replace it with something else, like maybe breadbasket. So let's see, let's go up to rifle damage. We'll go ahead and do that one. So we'll select rifle damage. We got 12%, and we'll go ahead and upgrade that. All right, so now I have 12% instead of the 7%. So let's pop back into another weapon here. Let's look at Everlasting Gaze, and we'll go down to attributes because there's more of them. But where do all the replacements come from? Like, where does crit chance 7% come from? What's that magic number? So that's a good question, and we'll go ahead and take a look in the recalibration library. So you can either hit E, or I'm going to go back out for purposes of this video to show you in recalibration library. So in the recalibration library, you can see categories for each of the weapon types and the gear slots. We'll go ahead and go into assault rifles, and we have our core attributes, and talents, which we've already talked about a little bit. And there's some information down here, and we'll cover that in a second. But I'm going to go into, let's go into attributes, and you can see all of the different attributes that can be on an assault rifle. And let's find, where was the one? Critical hit damage. There we go. So this weapon is something that just dropped for me today, and I'm looking at it, and critical hit damage is at 5%. Now, it's not a great number, but you know what? It's better than the 0% that I have in my library. So if we go back, you can see there's nothing here, and this is at 5%. You can say will be extracted. I'm going to go ahead and hit X. Alright, and now that weapon has been consumed or destroyed, but the value of critical hit damage of 5% is now in my library, and I can add that to any assault rifle that I find that either has maybe critical hit damage of 3, and I'm like, oh, well, I can change it to 5. Or let's say it has stability, and I'm like, I don't like stability. I'm going to change it to critical hit damage. let's go ahead and take a look at talents. Can be improved 1. All right, so here we have fast hands. Oops, I'll go back 1. So we have all of the available talents that on an assault rifle, and if they're white, I've already extracted them, and if they're gray, they have not. And if it says extraction available, that means I have a weapon in my inventory that can be, or can have that extracted. So we'll go in here, and you can see that I have this purple weapon, and it has the fast hands talent. And I don't want this weapon, but I do want this talent, so I'm gonna go ahead and extract that. All right, and so once again, the weapon is consumed and destroyed. But I do have the fast hands talent available to apply to any assault rifle in recalibration. While we're on this screen, let's go ahead and take a look at the values at the bottom here. So we have maximum value in library, and all that's saying is of the core attributes on an assault rifle, which is assault rifle damage and health damage, I have 0 of those extracted into my library, and of those 0, of course, 0 of them are at maximum value. If we look at attributes, it's a little bit better because we have 4 in the library and 0 are at maximum value. So we'll take a look at them, and you can see that I don't have damage to armor, but I do have damage to target out of cover, and you can see that I have extracted 6% out of 10% maximum. So I kind of want to go out to the inventory from here, because as you're running around, let's say you pick up something and you're like, oh, is this something that I want? No, I don't want it. I'm not going to equip it. But does it have an core attribute or an attribute that I might want? And so you can take a look at weapon damage here on this mask, for example, and it comes with a roll of 9.3%. But if you look at this little caret mark here, this is where my library is set, my recalibration library is set. So I may have 9.3% here, but if I recalibrated this, I could upgrade it to here, which is maybe 11% or whatever it is. And then likewise on the attribute here, I have 6.3% headshot damage, and you can see the caret is a little bit lower than the value on this item. So that means that if I wanted to, I could extract 6.3% headshot damage into my library, and it would be higher than the current value. Now, it's not a lot, so maybe I'm not going to do that, but you could do that. It's just an example of how you can quickly look at your items to see if they have something you might want to extract. All right, and let's go back into the recalibration library real quick. As we talked about the core attributes and the maximum values and stuff, and you can see at a glance all of the different categories here, and you can get the kind of the heads up of how many of each of the attributes that I do have and the talents. So you can see that I've been working on body armor pretty good. I got some good drops. I have all 3 of the core. I have 5 of 12 of the attributes and 11 of 23 on the talents available. So it's just another, well, it serves two purposes here. So it's another thing to collect. I love collecting, so this is awesome. But it's a really nice feature to be able to extract an attribute and put it on anything you want, and it doesn't use up that attribute from your library. It's just available all the time. So pretty cool. So that's our video for today. I hope that you liked it. I hope that you learned something, and let me know in the comments below if you think this is a cool feature or not, or if you got any questions about it, and we'll try to figure it out. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Or if you want to watch me on Twitch, I'm streaming Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we've been playing Division 2 every day. So come hang out with us, and maybe we'll go do some farming and get some more for our recalibration library. Take it easy.